Hello, Falcons. It's October and it's Friday, which means it's time for another blast. All right, guys, I appreciate your patience with me this week. My daughter had surgery this week, Alyssa, and she is on the mend and doing better. For those of you guys that had heard about this, I appreciate your positive thoughts and well wishes. Alyssa does as well. But thank you for your kindness. I greatly appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to a much better next week where I can be here with you every single day. So looking forward to that. And now some more things we're looking forward to. Let's get into the fun. As you can see, that is Jen Jorgensen, 7th grade science teacher, and one of our students during academic lab. Our science teachers in 7th grade built, you got it, water rockets. And so let's check it out.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
All right, pin.
Woo!
Oh.
That was a good one.
You can totally see the excitement on as they ran to go get their rocket. Our students in Miss Mothersbaugh and Miss Jorgensen's classes, they were creating water rockets. And not only did they have to create water rockets, but they were then placing an egg inside the rocket to see if when they launched this rocket, the egg would be safe and not broken. And so that assisted them in testing the safety features within that water rocket. So awesome job. The kids absolutely loved it. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. Moving on to some of our cooperative learning strategies that happened this week. I happened to be in Miss Mueller's 6th grade ELA class where students worked with their shoulder partner to participate in 15 different stations. Every single one of those stations had an excerpt of song lyrics, and the students had to identify the figurative language that was present in that excerpt. You could see students were highly engaged as they moved through all 15 stations, and students oftentimes would go back to stations because they determined that maybe they wanted to relook at the song lyrics and change their response. That was amazing to see how kids moved to all of these different stations, and none of it was chaotic. All of it was organized. Miss Mueller, you just did an awesome job with this. The other piece that I really loved was after they finished with their stations, they returned back to their table teams, and Miss Mueller then instructed them to share their responses with their face partners before she looked at this same information as a whole class. Great job of getting all voices in the room, Miss Mueller. The picture that you see below, is from Miss Engel's 7th grade ELA class, where she used a parallel lines activity. This parallel lines activity is similar to inside-outside circles. This activity was highly structured. She used dice to show digital dice to show students how many students they needed to move for each given prompt or question. Each time she shared with students who would speak first and who would serve as the listener, whether that was the person whose birthday was closest to today or the tallest person of the partners. And students had an opportunity to share with one another about specific discussion questions. They had about 4 rounds of this before they returned back to table teams to engage in further learning about theme statements. So again, highly structured. Please feel free to reach out to either Miss Engel or to Miss Mueller if you'd like more information on those partner station activities or parallel lines. Now I want to share with you some assessment capable learning examples. And in fact, one that I saw in Miss Engel's class specifically, once students returned to their table teams, they engaged in a gallery walk later in that lesson. So Miss Engel provided the table teams with an opportunity to learn the criteria about theme statements, to create theme statements based upon the book The Outsiders, and then for the gallery walk, she provided Post-its to each table team of different colors. She instructed the students to go from table to table and provide specific feedback, both for growth and positive feedback, to share what pieces of the criteria that team was already meeting. So to reinforce their thoughts and ideas on paper. And so students had an opportunity to do exactly that for every single theme statement that was written within the classroom. They then returned back to their own table teams. They were able to read the feedback given by other students based on that criteria and then improve their own theme statements. Great example of how students can be in the driver's seat of providing feedback to one another to improve their work. Love seeing this assessment capable learning strategy. If you want more information and insight on this, please don't hesitate to talk to Kristen. And then last but not least, I can't help but share more of the amazing work and investigations that are happening in our science classes. The top picture there shows students in Mr. Shimkus's class, although I got to see this happening in both Mr. Shimkus's class and Miss Moran's class, where students were collaboratively working to dissect owl pellets where they were looking for bones. I'll tell you what, it's been such an exciting thing to watch our kids and the way they work together and help one another through this investigative process. Every kid was ecstatic when they found a particular bone, and then they had a skeleton of a vole that they were then aligning these bones with so they could see how the bones lined up to create the living organism. So that was really awesome to watch in practice. The picture below is once again from Miss Jorgensen and Miss Mothersbaugh's academic lab class, where they were launching water rockets. The thing I'm really excited to see happen with this is that it was an authentic way for assessment capable learning to happen. Kids knew the criteria for creating their water rocket, but what occurred after is that some of the eggs stayed intact and some of them broke. Some of the rockets launched much higher and farther than others. Kids were able to return back to their table teams and talk through what would they change? What could they have done to make their rocket more structurally sound? What a great way to continue the learning process and to help kids to see the benefit of being able to come back, reflect on their learning, and consider ways to improve. Awesome job. Once again, feel free to reach out to our 6th grade science teachers or our 7th grade science teachers on this week's activities if you want more information about how they're structuring those awesome investigations.
Don't you forget about me.
All right, guys, last but not least, don't forget, no kids on Monday. We will be engaged in professional development. You have curriculum time in the morning. You will be with us in the Rockwood South cafeteria in the afternoon. Please check out the Monday memo for all of the details on our professional development sessions. All right, team. I hope you had an awesome week. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend. I hope you have a relaxing and enjoyable weekend. You certainly deserve it. We look forward to seeing you here on Monday. Take care.